Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Mac Pro Paint Stick video series thing. In this video I'm going to be showing you how I take my Mac Pro paint sticks and cream color bases and melt them into empty eyeshadow pans and put them into Mac's 15 pan Pro palette. I'm also going to be answering some of the questions that you guys had posted in the previous video, which if you haven't seen, check out right there. And yeah, let's get started. To do this, you're going to need a few things. You're going to need your paint stick or cream color base. You're also going to need empty eyeshadow pans like this one here. I get mine from starsmakeuphaven.com. I used to get them from Coastal Scents, but the ones at Coastal Scents are shallower than the ones at Stars Makeup Haven, and they don't carry magnets, so you have to get the magnets from someplace else. I'll include the links to all the places that I've gone to get this stuff in the info section just so you can check it out. You're also going to need labels to write on the magnets. The ones that I use are these. They are just Avery label number 5408. You get a package of 1,000 labels, which should last you a lifetime if you don't lose the package like I've done before. You're going to need some sort of utensil. I'm going to use a knife to scrape out the cream color base or cut up the paint stick. And lastly, what you're going to use to melt them in is a flat iron. I also use a box lid. You're going to want something to slide them off onto so that they can cool. It's going to be hot, so be careful and make sure that you're not sliding it onto something that you are afraid will burn, like a tabletop or something like that. I think that's everything, so let's get started. I'm going to start with a paint stick. We'll do French Violet, which is this one here, which is right here. I've got my empty eyeshadow pan. Now this one already has the magnet put on the back of it with the label. I'm doing that so that I can show you that you can actually reuse these, reheat them. It's fine. It doesn't do anything to the magnet. So anyway, so here we go. We've got our paint stick, we've got our empty eyeshadow pan. Now something that I like to do, and you don't have to, is take the knife and actually heat it up a little bit, and the flat iron. Be careful, because if you have one like this that has a metal handle, it will get hot and you can burn yourself. But the reason I do this is just because it makes it a little bit easier for me to slice through the paint stick. I wouldn't do this with cream color bases though, because it'd be kind of like trying to cut butter with a really hot knife. So we're going to slice off some product. Now probably, I would say maybe 1/4 of an inch you're going to take off of here, if you can see that. And just slice right through. And since this knife is hot, it's going to come right out, if you can see. So now you've got this, and this is ready to melt. You're going to melt it just by setting it right on top of the flat iron, and then you're just going to slide it right off. So just go ahead and plop this on here, and you can see, I'll hold it up for you a little bit, it'll start to melt. Occasionally when I'm melting paint sticks, I will get bubbles that sort of pop up on the surface. You can use the end of a knife or something like that to pop them and kind of, you know, make sure that you have a nice flat surface. They don't do anything, it's just air bubbles get trapped and they kind of start to rise to the surface. What I tend to do though is, if there are any bubbles, I just let it cool down and then I reheat the pan and the bubbles will all kind of come out. It's just sort of a little trick to doing it. So you can see that this is pretty melted right now. I'm just waiting until the center melts a little bit more. Right, that's ready to go. So hopefully you can see this, right? I'm going to just take this and slide it right off. And then just let that cool, and that's it. Do another one here with a cream color base so you can see how those work as well. So we've got our cream color base right here. We'll get another empty eyeshadow pan right here, and these, by the way, have all been sanitized. Spray your stuff with alcohol before you start working, including your hands. Make sure that they're clean and sanitized. I sanitized this and the eyeshadow pan. Now this one does not have a magnet on the back, just so that you can see how it works. You'll just find that the product melts usually a lot faster. Now go ahead and start scraping out your product. I know, it's kind of sad. This one you'll have to eyeball a little bit more, just because you can't like carve off an exact, you know, 1/4 inch or so of product. Alright, so we'll start with that and see how that looks when we're done. Alright, now this time I have adjusted the camera a little bit and put the box lid on some books just so that you can see a little easier what's going to happen here. So take your eyeshadow pan, plop it right on there. You can see it's going to melt pretty quickly. That's almost done. And then when it's ready, there it is, and slide it right off, just like that. Really, really, really simple. Now, just let those dry. The French Violet one is actually dry enough for me to pick up. Alright, so now I'm going to answer some of the questions that you guys had posted about these in the previous video. I'm just going to kind of go down the line here and answer them as I read them. So, are they lip safe? The answer to are they lip safe is the same as are they eye safe. They, as far as I know, haven't been tested around the lip area. They haven't been tested around the eye area. I use them on the lips all the time. Everybody that I know that uses these on the lips, but as far as I know, they're not actually tested for use around the lips. Do they crease on the eyelid? Again, as I've said before, everything over time creases on the eyelid. I have not had a problem with these creasing. If you do find that you have oily eyelids and a lot of creamy products really do crease on you, you can start with a base, Urban Decay's primer or MAC paint pot would work really well to help these to not crease at all. But again, I haven't had a problem with it. What's the wear time on these? Some of them stain, actually. The magenta one is really hard to get off your skin once you get it on there. I would say the wear time then is really pretty good with these. And same kind of question, I want to use these as eyeshadow bases. Would they stain my lids? Yes, some of them will. Magenta, probably, definitely. But yeah, they are going to stain a little bit. They're a pretty heavy-duty product, so keep that in mind. The lifespan on them, the shelf life. I don't know what the official shelf life is. I am assuming that it's 2 years. It's pretty much the standard shelf life for a product like this once you've opened it. Now, these do snap down really well though, and they're kind of hard to get the lids off of, so they're pretty airtight. Are they better than the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils? Yes, absolutely, without a doubt. I think that these are a much better eyeshadow base than the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencils. Not that the NYX Eye Pencils are a bad product, I just think that these are better. Have I tried using them as eyeliners in the upper lash line? I would actually, if you were using them as eyeliners, probably recommend using MAC's chromographic eye pencils, and I think that they would be more suited to using as eyeliners, though they do smudge quite a bit. If you want a hard line that isn't going to budge, I would definitely go for MAC's chroma lines. When they're melted into the 15 Pan Pro palette, do they change consistency at all? No. They are a creamy product. They stay creamy. They stay exactly the same in here as they do in here. One of the questions was on the swatches that I did. The brown looked a little bit gray. Was it just the camera? It actually kind of was. I noticed that too. The brown came out looking a little sort of taupey, sagey kind of a brown, when it's actually more of a red brown. Could you do a look using these as an eyeshadow base? Yeah, absolutely. I am planning some different looks anyway, and I use these all the time for eyeshadow bases, so keep watching and you'll see that. Do they have a matte finish, or is there a lot of shimmer or glitter in them? All of them have a very satin finish to them. I wouldn't say necessarily matte, but it's definitely not at all glossy or glittery or shimmery. None of these have any amount of shimmer in them. They're all just a really basic color. And the last one was, it looks like you should be running around your yard, beating on your chest, screaming, "I am warrior." And, you know, I am shooting down the walls of heartache as much as I can. I find it's the thing to do. I think that's everything. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the previous video where I've got all the swatches of all of these, and again, I'll include all of the information for everything that you would need to do this project in the info section, as well as on my website. Go to www.dustinhunter.com/MUA. Click on the media link to get to the videos, and you'll see this video there. I'll see you soon. Take care. Drive safe.